Sherrie Price Clark of Storehouse Media. Sherrie, what's going on? And we have an exciting guest for us today.
We do. We do. We have Chris Brinkley, and he is the lead singer of a band called Love Monkey. And I saw Chris a few years ago in his band, and I thought they were awesome. And then I saw them not long ago, and they were awesome. And I'm like, he really needs to get out there. Now I understand. He sent me his bio, which was pretty darn impressive. And I just got to tell you that, I mean, he recorded his first album in Nashville, Tennessee at 4 years old. And I mean, he's just like music, music, music. He started session work at 16, producing at 17. At 19, he wrote, produced a rock opera, performed 15-piece orchestra and a 30-voice choir. I could go on and on. He's written over 100 songs. He's gotten awards and all that. And it's just really an honor to have you here, Chris. Welcome.
Well, thank you. It's very nice to be here.
Yeah, yeah. His band is awesome, and we love listening to them. In fact, I think you're going to be somewhere maybe this weekend. Well, when you come into when you go out there again, I pay attention to the scenes. Like when is Love Monkey going to be there? Because love to see them.
Yeah, we're actually at Mercury Moon this weekend, both nights, Friday and Saturday.
Oh, okay. So it was another weekend, but you're like really you're engulfed. I mean, I talk to other band members and that's what they do. But looking at your history, I mean, you have been like your whole life, like a music, like
Oh, absolutely.
music in some way or another. And, so I'm sure you keep your thumb on what's going on in the music industry. And there's a lot of people wanting to know with the music industry. And one thing I want to know is, in your opinion, what do you think is the state of the music industry today?
Well, I think the first thing that we call them normies very nicely, but the first thing that most civilians, as it were, should know is that there's not the money in music business as it was like when I was young in the 80s. In the 90s, it started to decline, but because of so much access, you don't get rich in the music business, unless you get into other venues. You have to get into fashion and fragrances and all that, other businesses. But if you're just a touring band, if you just go out there and you just play, there's really not any music. I mean, we just spoke to Kenny Loggins people not too long ago, and they were talking about how he doesn't make any money off of his touring unless he sells a bunch of merchandise. And it's just not the same. And that's
Wow.
really difficult for artists to make. I mean, it's really for to make sense of.
So what do you mean? The venues charge too much? There's no profit for them to go out there?
Well, it goes even back farther than that. It goes to the beginning. I mean, in the 80s, you got paid about 9 cents every time a song played on the radio. And that 9 cents was divided 3 ways. A third of it went to the performer, a third of it went to the songwriter, and a third of it went to the publisher. Well, now you get paid 0.0000001 per listen online.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So
Because
do
the
the math.
internet, yeah. Oh, I never even thought of it that way. And I wondered how that worked out. Like, how did these, performers, you're on Pandora, you're on all these other places, like, how is that working out? But wow, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible. I mean, I used to primarily, I was a producer and a songwriter for 15, 20 years, and I just stopped because there was no money in it anymore. And so now I just play live. I don't do any recording. But by the time, well, for an instance, a song of the year, Happy by Pharrell. Do you remember that? Because I'm happy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was song of the year. He made $30,000. That's it. $30,000 off of that with Spotify.
Oh,
That's
It
it. How
costs
many
more than that
views?
to
How many
record.
views?
Right. And it costs more than that to record the song.
So how many views did he have? I mean,
Oh, it was
listen.
millions. Yeah, it was millions. I mean, it was a song a year. It was millions. And he gets paid $30,000 from it.
That's absolutely terrible. See, people don't know that.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is now it's crucial. It's crucial to support live music because otherwise musicians are going to fade away. I mean, there's no reason for them to do it other than, back when I was younger, you did it because you wanted to be a rock star. You wanted the chicks and you wanted the fame and all of that's going away. And the only thing that you can do now is if you really love music, you got to play live. And that's how you and the people who love your music can interact.
So when you talk about touring, and then I'm going to let Sherrie ask another question. So let's say these big tours that these stars, they don't make a lot of money on the tours.
Absolutely. Well, they do, and they're merchandising.
Why don't
So
they
they
get,
do.
why they don't get it in the ticket price? Part of
No,
the
no,
ticket?
no. No, not at all. That's why they're charging, $1,000 per ticket and stuff like that, because by the time they play the venues, by the time they pay the band, by the time they pay all of the little things that go with it, they literally are lucky to break even. So all of their profit is coming from the merchandise.
Oh my God. Was that always like that?
Oh, absolutely not. No, it's the way the music business has changed in the past 20 years, or maybe 25. I'm pretty old, so I lose track of how long it's been.
I wouldn't even think that. I told him we were having conversation before that the guitar player was awesome. He goes, "Oh, well, that's my son." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I did not know that."
So per
Well, he's
thousand views
awesome.
on Spotify or listens per Spotify is what CPM?
Uh, I'm not really sure. I just know that it's like per listen, it's like I think 0.701 cent. So that's how.
Really? So
Oh
let's
yeah,
see
it's
is
ridiculous.
CPM. So per thousand views, Spotify. Like some places are 7 to 10 CPM when you're talking YouTube, especially if you start monetizing or different places. So
Right.
it's better for these artists to go on YouTube and blow up and make more
Oh,
money.
absolutely, and that's why you see so many musicians now. They'll call themselves digital creators or something like that because they will get much more money if they get enough views and get like sponsors and things like that on YouTube. Far more money. They're not going to get it off of radio play. They're not going to get it off of live streams. There's no way. It's not going to happen.
Wow.
So you spend 2 years of your life, you spend, 10, 15, $20,000 recording a record.
Yeah.
You pour your heart and soul into it and you're not going to break even. There's no way.
Wow. And then we have this other thing coming up, Chris, called AI.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that. What do you know about all that?
Well, I just read the other day that 6 songs in the past a couple of years that have went into the top 40, 6 of them are completely AI generated. That means the singer is not real. It does not exist. The person is not real. Completely computer generated. All of the band is completely computer generated. On many of them, the lyrics are computer generated. So there's no writer, there's no creator,
Oh
so to
my
speak.
goodness.
There's no singer. It's completely the number one country song in the world right now is completely AI.
Really? So
Oh,
they really did.
absolutely.
There's not unions like they saved in the acting world, or that would have been taken over by AI.
Well, there's unions for like session musicians, for studio musicians. They get guaranteed paid an X amount to play, but not for the performance end of it. You're not gonna. There's nobody watching your back saying, "Let's make sure you get this much money." And it's not. It's all consumer driven, and so the prices just keep going down and down and down. That takes the profitability down. There's no recourse for any musicians.
So it's better to be a creator than a musician.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you're a digital creator, if you play, you have more chance of making a good living, I would say right now, if you're a game streamer than you are a player, musician.
Crazy.
Wow. Wow. This is quite an education, Chris. I mean, it's just like people don't think about that, right? I listen to Pandora a lot, YouTube. I'll go to YouTube a lot too. Thing with
Sure.
YouTube, they have a lot of ads. Uh, and so you have to like actually push through to get through the long ads. But I don't, and I've always wondered like, how does it all work with these stations that have it? How do they get paid? And now I understand it more, with
Well,
AI.
as an example, I have over 90 songs that I've written and recorded for that have been recorded by artists, all over the world. I'm lucky if I make $10 a month. So but if you come to my show and you have a good time, you put $20 in my tip jar. That's way more efficient for me. That's a way better business plan than for me to spend all, years and years creating.
And they will have a good time. One thing I liked about your band, Chris, is how you're engaging with the audience. We talked to somebody else, like you actually, the audience loves you
Oh,
because of
thank
how
you.
you engage. Yeah, we watch that kind of stuff and how you engage with them. Like you kind of pull them in. We touch somebody that goes out there, but you kind of pull them in where you're at. I mean, we saw other people get up there and sing, and you gave the mic to other people. Like,
Oh,
wow,
absolutely.
and that's really interesting. I think that's why people can connect with you more, is the way your band, your members engage with everybody there. It's a lot of fun to go watch you guys. I mean, it's just fun to go watch you guys play, just
So
flat
after
out.
you give it, and that's great to hear. Why, if you give a bearer of bad news, that you do this then?
It's I had this catchphrase that I say all the time. You spend all the money on equipment, you do all the practicing, you do, loading in, loading out, dealing with personalities, et cetera, et cetera. You do all that because when you're on stage for 3 hours, there is a good 30 seconds of that is absolutely magical. And that is so powerful that it's worth everything. And that's all I can tell you. And as if you've been to one of those shows and everybody's on the same page, it's symbiotic. The audience, the band members, the crowd, everybody's on the same page. The energy's going higher and higher. It doesn't last long, last 30 seconds maybe, but that is so amazing. It's worth all of the effort if you truly love it.
This is eye-opening. And so they make money in their merch. Do a lot of bands make a lot of money in events and merch?
Well, through the merchandise, yeah. Like for instance, if a band goes and plays a festival, they have all these festivals around, and I get people coming up to me all the time. Why don't you guys play festivals? I'm like, because there's no money in it. There's no reason for me to be. If I go there and I get paid, let's say maybe $1,000. Well, think of my gas, think of my hotel, think of how much I got to pay all my band members. Out of $1,000, what's left for me as a businessman?
Nothing.
Exactly. So if you're new at starting out in the music business, and there's a lot of guys there's a thrill in playing in front of 1,000 people, and they get all excited about it. If you're new and that thrill is the end all for you, then it's worth it. But if you're actually trying to have a business, it's not worth it. Not even close.
So that just sounds like, as me, former professional wrestler, and I wrestled the indies, and I also wrestled for some decent sized organizations. What I learned is that, yeah, guys will wrestle for free now. Why would I want to work for you? Why would I? They'll go and beat the heck out of each other for nothing, just to be in front of an audience. And there are bands out there doing that too, to undercut you, right? They'll work for free.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are, I don't know, in Jacksonville where I'm based, there are, and easily 65, 70 bands that are always trying to get bookings. So, you're like me, we book out 18 months in advance. We don't have any open dates. So those bands will come and gladly go to any venue and say, we'll whatever Love Monkey's getting, we'll take it for $400 less.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, some of the venues are smart enough to know, yeah, but you're also going to make 2,000 less than Love Monkey will. And so that keeps us in business.
Wow. And do you see how specifically enough, the business is, Sherrie? It's not, it's, I guess, the thrill of being in front of a live audience. There's no other thrill in the world. But if you're trying to be a business owner, the only person that makes money is the venue, right?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I certainly don't, and I own my band, and I pay the band members as contractors. That I can tell you, they don't make money. I tell them that all the time. I do everything that I can to offset it. But when somebody joins my band, I tell them, you can't do this to do rich. You just can't do it.
Yeah. It has to be about the passion and the love. And like you said, that 30 seconds of magic. I mean, people love that magic. And that's a hard
Absolutely.
thing to give up, no matter what you're doing. When you experience that magic, it is hard to walk away from it.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
the thing is that, you guys play awesome music, and and I hope it never goes away, because I love live music. I love listening to it, take advantage of it whenever I can. 'Cause, I'm a music junkie over here. But with your live venues, I mean, the rewards is that 30 seconds, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that
Well,
well, and plus I'm very much an empath. So I really, on a very deep emotional level, connect with the audience. I mean, that's what I live for. And with my bandmates, I mean, you can go see so many bands, and this is from the lowest level to the highest level. And none of the musicians look at each other. None of them pay attention to each other. They never look up at the band, the audience. They don't have any reaction. They're just there for themselves. They're just playing for themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not why I do it. And I think the audience can feel that. There are so many musicians like me. They do it because they want that human connection. I always call the audience the fifth member of our band. The audience is a member of our band. So like you said, if you're at my show, you're a part of the show. I'll walk right up to you, sit down next to you. I might steal one of your fries if we're in a restaurant. You're a part of the band. You just might as well suck it up. It's kind of like Don Rickles, the old comedian. If you went to his shows, you were going to get insulted. That's just the way it went. Well, you're not going to get insulted in my show, but you're going to be a part of the show. And that's what I live for, is that human connection. Yep. And music is the venue for that.
Well, what would you say is, playing in a venue with everything you said, what do you think is the biggest challenge you face?
Right now, it is, I think what I said is the profitability versus how much it takes, to do that. I mean, luckily my band, the way that we're set up, which you've seen us, everything is very improv. So we don't spend 5, 6, 7, 10 hours of rehearsal a week. As a matter of fact, the band that I'm with right now, we've never rehearsed, not once. We've never rehearsed. Everything is improv. They do it off of hand signals. You probably see me do all this stupid stuff all night long. That's what they do everything off of. But if you rehearse all these hours, and then you've got, if the show starts at 9, you've got to start getting everything ready to travel and everything by 8. You've got to do your setup. You've got to do your sound check. You start playing. You play till 12. You tear down till 1. By the time you get home, it's 2. Start doing per hour what these guys are making. And so I think that's the venue. The challenge. You can't keep good musicians wanting to keep doing it. So then what happens is the musicians quit. Now you've got less quality bands playing venues. Now they're not bringing in the audiences. Now the venues don't want to charge the bands. Pay the bands. So now you've got this weird thing where they're killing each other. The bands are getting worse. The venues want to pay less. And so they just start, it's like cancer. They just start eating each other. And then before you know it, there's not a music scene left.
Right.
So it's a real juggling act of balancing your creativity with your productivity.
Absolutely.
Profitability. Yeah. Wow. Well, for somebody who listens to it, we sure do appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And I'm lucky to be a part of 3 generations. My father did it his whole life, and I've done it my whole life. And my son is my guitarist, and it will probably do it his whole life. So we truly love it. And there's nothing, out of all the negative things that I've said, let me say it is absolutely worth the magic. And there's nothing like music on the right day when you're in the right mood and you need the right thing to help you, to connect you with the world. There's nothing like music that does that exact same thing, whether it be sadness, happiness, love, whatever it is. It's there. It's in music somewhere.
For sure.
So where do you see, you say you're going to be in music. Do you see that there could be a turn for musicians to start making more money? Do you think it could happen?
I do not. Unless there are other ways that are invented through technology that make it, I guess I want to say physical, something physical, like merchandise. Physical things that consumers can take that put money directly into the pockets of the musicians. It's very different. I think what you're going to see is more and more people only doing it for the love of it and not for the money part of it.
But what about like you don't see any businesses come up with a better model for the artist to make more money?
Well, I'm apparently not that smart because I don't see it. I mean, I'm sure as a consumer, like Sherrie was saying earlier, as a consumer, sure, I love to be able to go and stream and listen to anything that I want to, and so I understand that. I don't want that to go away. There just needs to be something, as you said, invented, and I'm not smart enough to do it. That makes more direct connection of money between musician and the person who enjoys it and consumer.
What about writing songs and then selling them to people?
No, there's absolutely no money in that.
Songwriting, no money at all. Oh my.
No, no, no. I mean, well, and here's a small example. Taylor Swift, Beyonce, the list goes on and on. You can see they write every one of their songs. Well, look on the credits and you'll see their name, but you'll also see 5 people listed after that. And most of those guys are staff writers. They're hired by publishing companies to help to actually make the ideas of the artist live in a song form. Well, those royalties are split down with all of those people. And you heard earlier how little they get paid. So what somebody like Beyonce will go in and go, oh yeah, you can have, I'll record this song with you, but I'm going to take half of the writing royalties. So the other 5 people split the other half. And she may have only written one song. I mean, one line of the entire song, but she's going to get 50% of
Are the top artists still making money?
Well, yeah, but that's because they springboard into other areas, like Jay-Z, for instance, and Beyonce. Well, all of their billions didn't come from the music industry. It came from he bought the nets. They got into clothing. He has a perfume line. They have a makeup line. That's where all of these billions that you're seeing coming into these artists, that's where it comes from, is all of their diversity of income. It's not from the music business.
Well, then maybe that's where everyone needs to be, is become more, get their fame in music and then make the money somewhere else.
Well, that is exactly the only plan that I see right now that's viable. The problem with that is it's almost like winning the lottery. I mean, the best musicians in the world, nobody knows their name. They're the guys, the women and men that are behind Beyonce. Those guys, all those guys are way better musicians than she. They may not have her charisma, but those are the best musicians in the world. The problem is they don't make any money. Nobody knows who they are, and there's just not that way for them to directly connect. And that's where the problem lies. You have to diversify. These guys, unless they get that one magic song, that's why I call it winning the lottery ticket. Unless they get that one magic song that happens to be in a movie that gets big, that people listen to, and then all of a sudden everybody knows your name. Well, now you have the chance to springboard into other things. But that's, with 10 million artists trying to do that right now, it doesn't really matter how good you are. It's winning the lottery. It really is.
And for the love of it, musicians have to start focusing their attention on becoming creators, about monetizing in other ways, building their fame, even locally, and make money doing something else. For example, my podcasting, I built an agency. I would not make money off streams and podcasting or in radio or ads. That's not making my money. My brand's making my money.
Absolutely.
That's the mistake people make. What is your total addressable market? Do you have a product or service? If you're a creator, a musician, and if you have a product or service, you're going to make money. Period.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And how can you get that into the hands of the most people that will love it?
As you look at sports, you think all the sports people are overpaid. It's only certain players. The rest of them are not making that much for their lives for 5 years or 7 years. But
absolutely.
The top players are, but that's it.
Right. And then take their 40% that their agent is going to take off of that. And then they get charged for every bottle of water, every little tiny expense, everything that they spend while they're out on the road or anything else, that all comes out of that. So they get the check at the end with all of that stuff taken out of it. It's not nearly as much as you think. It's the same thing with a music contract. When in the old days, when you would sign a music contract, you get a $250,000 signing bonus, and you'd be like, oh my goodness, I just hit it big. And then at the end of your tour, you owe them $10,000 because every hotel room, every bottle of water, everything, you got charged. The lawyer's fee, the attorney's fees, everything. So you end up owing the record company $10,000. And that was even in my day. That was even in the big money days.
So you, at one point, you were parted in the big money days for yourself as a musician?
Oh yeah, at one time I got probably about $40,000 if I just touched a record. So it was, when I had the studio and then I started taking artists to do their whole albums, I was making really good money, but that was right at the peak. And then it just started crashing down. And
what about the
started changing.
production companies? Or money in that?
Not really, no. Because then if you have the company, you got to pay the producers, you got to pay the per hour for the studio. You got to, it just
can be a good revenue, but after all the revenue's gone, it doesn't look good. There's not a good.
That is correct.
There's a lot of businesses like that, right? They look great on paper with the money they're bringing in, but ultimately they're paying all these. They have to pay all these people.
Right, and then my little catchphrase is minimum effort, maximum profit. And, that's why when somebody joins my band, I'm like, you get the smallest gear that you can, you tour, you play with us with the cheapest equipment that you can find. I need you to be able to totally set up in 30 minutes, but that's why we don't rehearse. There's we minimize our effort so that we can maximize our profit. I want these guys to make more per hour for less work.
Okay. Well, see, that's a good thing. Sherrie, anything to add? You're getting to see behind the scenes of your favorite stars and what they're going through.
I do. Was quite an education, Chris. Thank you for educating us and clearing things up. These are just little things I wondered about, and now I get it. So, I will just tell everybody, if you get a chance to see Love Monkey and Chris Brinkley in action, you really should take advantage of it, because it's great. It's fun. It's interactive. And it's good music. And for somebody who doesn't rehearse, my gosh, you sound great.
Oh, thank you. My boys are badass. No question.
Yeah. Wow. That just surprised me right there. So
we love it. It's great information. It's great to hear what you're doing. Where's the best place we can find info on you?
lovemonkeyband.com. It has my whole schedule on there. It has information about the band. It has my bio on there. It has links to some of my original music. That's the best place to find us. And then, of course, come see us. That's really, for me, that's the moral to all of this. Love a musician. It's hard work. Go see them. Put money in the tip jar. Buy them a drink if they drink. Give them, tell them that you really appreciate what they do. And don't ask for free bird.
You don't like when you're asked for free bird?
No, people, it's just a big joke. Nine people will scream, play free bird tonight. And it's a big joke. And so you don't ask for free bird. That's a big musician no, but it's tongue in cheek.
I get it. All right. Well, we appreciate it. Thanks again, sir.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's very kind of you.
All right. That was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Storehouse Media Group podcast. Go to storehousemediagroup.com to get all things